What's going on, guys? It is Ryan here with Michigan Storm Chasers doing a recap video of August 6th, 2024. We had two storms come on shore about 7 to 30 or so in the morning, and they did wreak havoc for portions of Southwest Michigan. So let's go ahead and dive into what exactly happened. Let's go ahead and also look at the forecast leading up to this, how it kind of verified, how it didn't verify, also take a peek at some of your guys' reports, pictures, and videos from today. So we look at the radar back here right around 7:30 to 8 o'clock this morning. This radar here is about 7 o'clock. We're seeing these cells come on shore here in Western Michigan. Notice how they are by themselves here. We have one cell by itself up here near Holland, one cell by itself down here by South Haven, Benton Harbor area. That was not the expectation. If we look back at models, which we're going to do here in a second, we're going to look at how messy it was supposed to have been. Let's take a zoom out here, kind of remember how this looks. For example, we have two big cells here by themselves and some rain up there for northern lower Michigan. But as the morning progressed, these moved onshore and also started rotating a little bit. They're rotating offshore, should I say. When they move onshore, it kind of broadened out just for a bit, but then picked right back up as it headed toward that Van Buren County area. So the northern cell didn't really do too much by Holland up there in Allegan County. Not too much happened. It died pretty quickly. Energy kind of got sucked into the southern cell here. And this southern cell here was really the dominant cell throughout the morning. So back up here to the Benton Harbor area, we're going to look at our velocity here. We're going to kind of watch how this all evolved here. If you guys didn't catch the live stream, this is all new information for you. But if you did, it's kind of old information for you guys. Just kind of have to recap this real quick. But we can see the rotation here with red colors indicating winds going away from radar, greens going toward it. The radar site up here in Grand Rapids. So green colors are going this way and red colors are going this way. So we start seeing rotation start to pick up here right along 94 near Covert, Benton Harbor area. And the further east it progressed, the quicker it started strengthening here. It went from a little bit of rotation to, oh, look, there's rotation in about 2 scans. And that only increased about this time the tornado warning was issued for Van Buren County. It was for southern portions, basically from right about from Paw Paw and area south here into Van Buren County. That was our first tornado warning that got issued. This storm started progressing east-southeastward, had a couple areas here where it looked to tighten up. And then as it kind of did that, kind of broadened back out, and then kind of tightened up again, kind of broadened back out. It did that for quite a while here as it moved through Decatur, as well as Nicholsville, Marcellus area here. So overall, it was tight for a few scans, but overall, the broadest rotation was really when it first came on shore. And from there was kind of more so intense rotation throughout the period here as it moved in toward the Three Rivers area. So right about here would be where the tornado, or where we think a tornado would have touched down here in Marcellus. And as of this making of this video, the Northern Indiana office of NWS has put in a damage indicator of a tornado in Marcellus. So the start of the path potentially right about this general time frame here. And then that moved east-southeastward, we're thinking here, right about this general vicinity, right about here to here to here. To right about here would be the general path of it. We can see the rotation here very tight, and we call this a couplet here where the reds and greens are meeting. We can see that track back. There it is right there. Keep tracking it back. There it is right there. So right along this general path here into the Three Rivers area, and there is damage consistent all along that path here. So we'll see what they officially rate it as. But for right now, they're saying it is tornadic damage as of the making of this video. We'll confirm that on our page when the official details are released. But past that time frame, we see a pretty clear-cut path here with some damage. We'll show you guys those pictures later. But as it moved through Three Rivers, it kind of broadened back out. And from there, it just kind of stayed broad all through St. Joseph County here. Still has some rotation there, just nothing really tightened up until about this point. There was a spotter report of a funnel cloud roughly about this time frame here. And then that continued into northwest Ohio, where multiple of our chasers, including myself, were on that storm all the way through the Ohio area, through Wauseon, Bryant areas, as that became a elevated supercell. So there's your radar presentation. All right. Let's go ahead and stop screen share here and pop up our tab to go over a few things of what happened. So number one thing we're going to notice here is there's multiple storm reports here. We have 1, 2, 3 reports of damaging winds, and those reports are just kind of blanketed reports saying that there's scattered damage all across the county regions. I'll show you guys damage pictures here in a second. But this storm, as it moved through southern southern Van Buren into St. Joseph County, as well as portions of perhaps Allegan County as well, getting reports of damage here with this storm. So just kind of blanket reports there. But notice there your warnings for the storm. So one damage report was right here. There was another one up there further north in Allegan County. So a couple areas of scattered wind damage, trees down, power lines down, etc. Looking at the IWX office's reports, they do have that funnel cloud report here by the Indiana border. It was near Kinderhook in Branch County. Also, multiple reports of, at this point, damaging winds all throughout St. Joseph County. That is going to be your possible tornadic pass. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that and see if that gets upgraded to a tornado confirmed. But overall, that storm did produce multiple areas and pockets of damage throughout the area, from really Marcellus to Paw Paw to Lawton to Matawan, all the way down toward Marcellus. And that's really where the damage kind of stopped. Okay. So that's your damage reports. Now, going back to the expectation of the models, and then we're going to go ahead and end the video with some damage reports and pictures. So looking at the model leading up to this event here, we're looking at the overlap of wind shear and instability. We're going to notice here at 8 a.m. in the morning here, notice how it's kind of displaced off to the south here. And it's only really showing up with like the greens and yellows. It doesn't really show orange, reds, purples, which indicate a really potent environment. As we progressed into the daytime yesterday, we did see that kind of shift more so to the northward. Like here's the afternoon model of yesterday, kind of showing that overlap, kind of staying around southern Michigan. That's kind of caught our attention here, but still didn't really show a really decent environment until the night of, really. About the afternoon model or the evening model yesterday really started picking up on that northward shift here. That's when our partner chaser Ben put out an outlook that caught some attention, suggesting tornadic potential in Southwest Michigan, and that is based off of primarily that 00 or the triples or the 00Z run of our model called the HRRR, and that really showed the best environment staying right there in Southwest Michigan all throughout the morning period from 8 to 10 to 11 a.m. And that's what ended up happening, really. It was really too late to put a forecast out. I know Joel really started to ramp up his wording overnight, so not all of you got the wording that, hey, we're ramping up wording here. But the overall consensus, though, was still nothing really tornadic was expected to happen, just based off two things. Number one, our capping environment. The capping was strong in some sounding. So what that basically means is storms would be elevated, not become surface based, which would indicate no tornadic risk or no real risk for damaging winds. So that was the expectation, but that's not what happened, because there was a lot more surface instability to work with as that storm was on a warm front. So it basically had a few things go together that weren't expected for this storm to get it to produce damaging winds and perhaps a tornado as well. So the environment and the models really ramped up after the 9 p.m. time frame last night, and only increased from there into the night. And that's when Joel started kind of putting the wording out overnight that, hey, we're looking at this area for potential damaging winds primarily, but also a brief tornado possible. And that's ultimately what probably ended up happening here. Outside of that, though, the expectation was no tornadic activity. So that really just kind of changed very fast. Go ahead and end the video here, starting with number one, the damage indicator I mentioned here. So this is a public database. We call it the DAT Site Damage Assessment Toolkit. It's a public database where the NWS offices go out and survey damage across the USA. So we can see some tornadoes signatures here in Minnesota, for example. But the one we're kind of paying attention to is right down here in the Marcellus area. The IWX, Northern Indiana NWS office, has inputted a damage indicator here just north of Marcellus. When you click on that, it does pop up a window that says EF0 75 miles per hour. Would be the rating on that particular damage indicator. And the comments say approximate area of tree damage shared on Twitter of other damage noted in the area. So the wording that we were getting here is they are going to confirm this as a tornado. It's not official yet, but they're likely going to confirm this as a tornado. Looking at damage and indicators and stuff like that, this is pretty clear cut to us. There's a clear damage path, clear rotational evidence of damage. So and NWS will be out tomorrow to survey. We'll probably have wording on that tomorrow, which is August 7th or Wednesday. So expect updates from that area near Marcellus for a potential tornadic confirmation there from the storms this morning. Okay. And then as for the video ending on the reports, looking at a few of you guys here with our new Michigan Weather Reports group, feel free to go join that if you have not done so already. You can post all things reports in this group. It is only designed for reports. So feel free to check it out here. This is what it looks like. We have pictures of the Weberville tornadic damage from last year as the cover photo. It's just called Michigan Weather Reports. Please direct all future reports, whether it's rainfall, snowfall, damage, tornadoes, storm pictures, rainfall. I already said that rainfall. Direct it over here to that group. It helps us organize, centralize, and it helps us communicate, as well as NWS can peek into this if they need to. Take a peek and say, all right, we can do this, we can do that. This is going on, so on and so forth. So feel free to go join that and drop all future reports, please, over there in that group. As far as damage reports go, we have multiple videos across the Marcellus area, as well as Paw Paw areas. This video here was sent in or was sent to the group by Josh. It is a short video here, just kind of looking at the tree damage in the area. So thank you for Josh for posting that. Also have a couple pictures here out of Battle Creek in Calhoun County of a tree on a house or perhaps an apartment building there, sent in by Erica. So thank you to Erica for sending that in. We also have pictures from Three Rivers. This is probably a picture you guys have seen quite often here. It's been circulating around social media. It's a picture of some debris here in Three Rivers, as well as a roof tarping in a tree on some power lines as well. That's likely from that potential tornado from earlier this morning. And then also pictures coming in from the Marcellus area of structural damage of roofs being torn off. Looks like a barn there, perhaps a shed. Sent in from Michelle. Thank you to Michelle for posting that. We also have more pictures of trees across roadways. This is from the Paw Paw area. And then also we have a tiny picture here of what appears to be siding near the, I believe, Three Rivers area. So sent in by Gretchen. And then last but not least, we have our post out on our page from Chris Burrows from the Marcellus area. Looking at potential tornadic damage here, we have roofing material torn off. We also have some siding material off this house. We also have trees down in the exact same area. So thank you to Chris for sending that in, allowing us to use his photos there. But overall, a pretty impactful storm for you guys in Southwest Michigan. So we appreciate all of you who have relayed the reports over to us. We appreciate every single one of you who support us, watch us, like our streams, et cetera, et cetera. So with that being said, please let me know how you like this style of recap. It's pretty laid back, just kind of covers everything in detail. If you want more detail or less detail, please feel free to drop a comment here and let me know some feedback of what you thought of this style of video. All right. With that being said, one last shout out here to our sponsor, Katz Roofing and Siding, our new sponsor here based out of Lansing, as well as Battle Creek greater areas. They cover a good portion of South Central Michigan. They cover roofing, siding, gutters, windows for your restoration and home improvement needs. Feel free to contact them. Numbers on your screen. It's also 517-485-9886. Link to their website is also going to be in the description below. Feel free to check them out. And thank you to Katz for sponsoring this video, as well as becoming a partner with MSC. All right. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time here at Michigan Storm Chasers.